Hello, good morning everyone. I'm Lim Ai Teng, the head of English panel from SJKC Yok Choi Lahatatu. Thank you for joining our webinar today, which entitled Tips to Excel in CEFR Readiness. Before we begin, please allow me to make a quick announcement regarding the session today. The webinar today will be carried out in two parts. The first part is the presentation by our guest speaker. The second part will be carried out by a Q&A session. The second announcement is, please wait a moment. The second announcement is, anyone who attends the webinar today will get an e-certificate at the end of the session via a link provided at the end. Kindly key in your full name and your email address to get the certificate. The certificate will be generated and sent to your email. Therefore, please stay with us until the end of the webinar. Besides, in case of some reason that you miss out the webinar, this webinar is recorded and the recording will be made available to everyone at the YouTube channel. For the Q&A session, please submit your questions in the live chat box. We will select some questions and answer them at the end of the session and during the Q&A session. Okay, to begin today's session, I would like to invite Madam Cindy Pelifun, a SISC Plus officer from PPD Lahatatu, to present her welcoming speech. Please wait a moment. Okay, wait, madam. Okay, madam, you may start now.
Hi, thank you, I think. Good morning to our respected head administrators, lecturers, and fellow teachers. As the Language SIC Plus officer in the learning sector of PPD Lahadatu, I'm happy to deliver to you our first webinar, Tips to Excel in CFR Readiness. As the test is just around the corner, I'm sure everyone is eager as well as anxious on how to get oneself well prepared. Therefore, this webinar, with the help of my task force, Madam Lim Ai Ting, as the moderator, and Madam Mahalakshmi Krishnasamy as our honorable speaker, we will try our best to share with you as many tips as possible to allow you to familiarize our readiness test format, emphasizing on the 4 components: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Hence, I believe by that you are ever ready and confident to face the challenge in the coming test. So now, I'm going to leave you all in the good hands of our moderator. Over to you, Madam Lim. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Cindy. Ladies and gentlemen, just like what Madam Cindy has mentioned, the exam is just around the corner. I believe today's webinar is an interesting and relevant topic to all teachers in Malaysia, especially English teachers. Please allow me to share my slide. For your information, there are 18,936 teachers who are going to sit for the CEFR Readiness exam in this November. Therefore, we are very fortunate to have our speaker today, Madam Mahalakshmi, to share some tips with us. Please allow me to tell you a little bit about Madam Mahalakshmi before I pass over to her. Madam Mahalakshmi was born in 1965. She has 31 years teaching experience as trained teacher. She was teaching math since 2003. Currently, she was attached to SMK Agase, deep in teaching since 1989. She obtained her degree in TESOL in 2003 and also a master's degree in 2010. Without further ado, let's put our hands together and welcome our speaker today, Madam Mahalakshmi. Okay, please wait a moment. Hi, Madam Maha, say something to your audience.
Hi, thank you, Madam Lin. Hi, Madam Cindy. Okay, this is my very much maiden experience doing the webinar. Anyway, I'm so glad that many of you have actually taken the opportunity to join this session and welcome. Okay, to start off, let me welcome you all to this session, and I hope this session will be helpful to you all in sitting for the CFR, which you'll be doing so in October, and November. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and I hope you'll be able to gain enough knowledge to um, obtain C1 or C2 in your CFR later. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Madam Lee.
Okay, thank you, Madam Maha. So without further ado, let's start our webinar today. Please wait a moment, I share your slide. Okay, Madam Maha, can you see your slide now?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you may start now.
Okay, once again, let's get the ball start rolling. Okay, as for the CFR, it is similar to MUET. You still have four papers. Paper one for listening, paper two for speaking, paper three for reading, and paper four for writing. Next, please, Madam Lim.
Okay,
Now, as for listening, there will be three parts for you to tackle, and you'll be given five audios to listen to, and the test would be for 30 minutes. The test would also contain 20 questions for the three parts. Okay, remember you'll have five audios, three parts, five audios, and 20 questions, only 30 minutes. Okay, next please. Okay, what are the tips for you to get into this listening test? You have to get the gist of the whole passage. There will be five passages. Okay, so you have to listen carefully, be attentive, keep up with it, listen to the gist of the passages, whatever that they are giving you. Okay, next please. Now, the types of questions that you would be presented with, you'll be sitting for, will be there'll be two types. One, it's short answers, and second one would be MCQ. As for the short answers, you will be given an opportunity to write either 3 words or 5 words for the questions. And as for the MCQ, you'll be given an option of A to C and A to F. There will be two types, okay? A to C, A to F. Next, please. Now, this is how the test should be carried out. Okay, this is exactly how the test will be carried out. So you have to know how the test is being carried out so that you will be able to be prepared. Okay, so listen carefully first. When you are already in the hall, the invigilators will give you the instruction. They'll give you the question paper. They'll give you the instruction, and you will be allowed to read all the questions for 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute to read all 20 questions. As you read, you underline or you take note of the keywords. So for part one, when you'll be played, the invigilators will play the audio for the first time. Okay, you listen to it. You cannot write. You just listen. You have read the questions, all the 20 questions. Now it is part one. You listen. Once you have already listened, then you'll be given 1 minute to answer the questions. Only 1 minute. Okay. Then the audio will be played once again. That is for part one. The audio will be played once again. Then later you can check. Once you have completed the answers, you can check your answers. That also you'll be given 1 minute. Then we'll move on to part two. Okay. Part two would be audio two. It will be played for the first time. and then you'll be given 1 minute to answer the questions, and they'll play the audio a second time. Next, please, Madam Lee. And once you have completed the part 2, you can check the answers. Okay, then you'll move on to part 3. Okay, part 3, there'll be 3 audios, 6 questions, 6 questions, 3 audios, 2 questions for each audio. Okay, it will be a much more shorter uh, audio listening compared to part 1 and part 2. You listen to the audio for part 3 for question 15 and 16, then you answer the question. Once you've answered the question, you listen to the audio once again. That will be a second time for part 3, audio 3, for question 15 and 16. Then once you've completed, you'll check your answers, which you have completed, 1 minute. You'll move on to part 3.2 once again, audio for question 17 and 18. Okay, once again, it will be played for the first time. Then you answer questions 17 and 18. 1 minute will be given as well. Then you listen to it once again. Next slide, please, madam. And you check your completed answers for questions 17 and 18. Then part 3, it will be question 19 and 20. The audio will be played for the first time. Then you'll answer the questions 19 and 20. Then the audio will be played again and you check the answers, and that's the end. Okay, this CD audio set that they have, it is complete. There will not be anybody handling it. I mean, they will just play the audio and it will just go on. 1 minute post will be by itself. The CD will post by itself, and then they'll continue. So there wouldn't be anybody switching on or switching off or posting the CD. It just goes on smoothly. Okay, so there's no such thing as you cannot ask the invigilator, sorry, can you please stop for me, I want more time. You cannot do that, it's automatic. Okay, so you have to be very alert, you have to be very alert, you have to be quick, attentive. It's very important. Okay, as you for this listening, you must be assured what are the keywords for the content. You must know, you must be able to identify. And word count is very important. If it's 3 words, 3 words. If it is 5 words, 5 words. Do not go beyond it. If you go beyond it, you'll be penalized. Okay, and spelling. There is very little tolerance for spelling error. You have to make sure it is the correct spelling. You must make sure. Okay, and also sometimes these 3 words or 5 words, you must make sure you have the right grammar or structure. And this is very important. Now, how do you get this done? You will only be able to get it done with lots of practice. Okay, so read the questions and underline the keywords, because it will help you to focus when you're listening to the audio. Next, please, Madam Lee. Okay, as you listen to the audio, you'll be able to refer to your keywords. What are the keywords that you have actually uh, underlined? Then, as you listen, jot down important notes. You make shorthand notes. Okay, like increasing, you show the arrow going up, going down. You show the arrow going down. You have your own shorthand style of taking down notes. So you take down notes. You can ask for papers to write your answers. But then when you're answering the question, you have to do it in your question paper. Be open-minded. Okay, do not let you whether you agree with the audio or not, that is not the issue. The thing is, you have to listen to it and answer. You agree with whatever that's being said, you have got more experience than whatever they are telling you, and that is not the issue. You be open-minded. and leave out the irrelevant details. You do not have to put in the irrelevant details and pay attention to the connectors. Sometimes you say, however, so when they come up with this kind of connectors, that means there might be some information that you will need. So, and also listen to the speaker's tone, his intonation, how is his expression, because there will be sometimes there will be questions asking if the speaker is actually how does he feel, is he happy with whatever that he is reporting to you, telling you. Okay, there will be some such questions, so you have to be attentive, really attentive. Okay, okay, next slide please. Okay, tips to keep up. You whatever details that you when you are listening to it, you might think that when I told you just now, it's irrelevant. Whatever details that's really irrelevant, don't pay attention. But you know what is going on. Listen to the whole text. Do not skip. Sometimes you will think that is the answer, but the answer would be elsewhere. So listen to the whole text, okay? And check your word limit. And if you have to paraphrase your answer, you may, but make sure you retain the original meaning. Do not move away from the meaning. And check your grammar, your spelling once again. Your spelling is important. Next, please. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts? Okay, this is very common. We have our do's and don'ts. Okay, you have to concentrate and believe. Whatever you listen to, you just believe that's the answer. Believe in yourself. Okay, read all the questions and focus on the keywords. And if possible, use the words that you hear, unless you think that words are too many. So you have to paraphrase it, and then it's okay. And use the post to check the answers. When they give you the time, the break, you use the post to check your answers. Now, do not have any negative thoughts. And as I told you just now, if you don't agree with the person, the speaker, you don't have to let it influence you. Be positive. You just concentrate. And do not spend too long on one question. It's only a matter of about 3 words, 5 words. Sometimes it's MCQ. Do not spend too long. You're not writing an essay there. You listen and you just paraphrase and write what you understand. And never panic. That is why I told you the moment you get your paper, you start concentrating, you be focused. Please do not wait even for 1 second thinking that, oh, it's okay, I'll get my pen, I'll get my eraser. Don't waste your time. Be prepared. Go into the hall, be prepared so that you do not panic. Because if you miss, sometimes you miss one word, you'll be uh, losing the information that you need. And never leave blank space. Answer. Who knows? That, that answer might be accepted. Okay? So do not leave blank space. Just answer. And make sure your spelling is correct. Now, part 1, audio 1 would be for question 1 to 8. Okay? Part 1, audio 1, question 1 to 8. 6 questions would be to fill in the blanks. And 2 questions would be MCQ. Okay, sometimes these MCQ questions would be question 1 and 2, or sometimes it would be question 7 or 8. Usually for part 1, they will give you a table to fill in the blanks. Now, do not think that it would be in sequence all the time. If you have done enough exercises, you will notice that sometimes it is not in sequence. The answer 6 would appear before answer 4. Okay, that is why it is important that you read up the questions and underline the keywords and you pay attention to it. Do not think that if you answer question 1, question 2, it will be sequence, then the next will be question 3, then next will be question 4. No, at times, it will be jumbled up. Okay, so most of the time what the candidates will do, they will take a look at question 1 and then they'll wait for question 2 and then they'll wait for question 3. But what would happen as the audio goes on, the answer would be for question 6 or sometimes even for the MCQ. So be alert. Now, part two. Part two is normally a choice of A to F. MCQ will be A to F. Okay, A to F. You will have the answers in the box, and you have to choose. It's like the home five question, you know. Like you just transfer. You take the answer, you write it in the space given. But what I would advise you is, do not copy the answers. If your handwriting is a little bit difficult to read, your mechanism of writing. If it's difficult to read, then if you copy down the answer, your letters might look different. A might look like O. So if they do not give you the benefit of doubt, what will happen? You will be penalized for it. So what I would suggest is, for these MCQ questions, you write down the alphabet. For an example, let's say for listening, you have got the part where the reader says um, smoke or eat. Smoke or eat, that is for A. Okay, that is for question A. Question 9, let's say for question 9. Smoke or eat, the option is A. So you just write the A there. You don't write the words smoke or eat. Okay, that is the way you should be doing. You either write A, B, or C, or D, or E, or F. Do not have to copy down the answer into your plan. You might make some spelling error if they hurry to write the answer. Okay. Then the other one would be MCQ. MCQ, you just make your choice. There will be three choices given, so you choose your answer. Okay. Uh, then part three, three audios. Part three, three audios, question 15 to 16, 17 to 18, 19 to 20. All this will be filling in the blanks. So watch your spelling here. And this is a little bit, the answers will be a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, that is the end of listening, what you're supposed to do. Okay. Now we'll move on to speaking. Now, speaking normally, from what I've seen, most of the candidates, they're very comfortable, they're more comfortable doing the listening, writing, and reading than speaking. They're very conscious because here you have to face the examiners. So they feel uncomfortable, they find it difficult to speak in front of the examiners, and in fact, some of them are even conscious of speaking in front of their friends. But remember, you have to do it. You might as well get it done. No matter how much you fear, you have to do it. So these are the what I'm going to tell you now is are the tips on how you can get it done. Okay, there will be two tasks. Task A would be individual presentation. Now you see the word A there, the letter A. A. A means in what I usually tell my students, a core. You know, if you have to put you that is the one. You cannot change. If you are given that option, that is the option you have to speak about. You cannot go and if you are candidate A, you cannot speak about the option given to candidate B, candidate C, candidate D. No. If your option you are candidate A, you only speak about the option A. That is why A, a core. You don't change. Okay. Then task B. Task B is you can choose whichever you want, whichever option that you have, you can choose. Okay. So B. So what I always tell my students, B, bebas. Okay, you get it? So you can choose whichever option given to you. That is task B, and it is a group discussion. Task A is individual presentation. You'll be given 2 minutes to present your views about the option given. And in task B, it would be group discussion 10 minutes. Group discussion 10 minutes means all four of you will be speaking for 10 minutes, taking turns or turn taking for 10 minutes. It's not that you alone will be speaking for 10 minutes. All the four members there will be speaking for 10 minutes. Okay. So next, please, Madam Lee. Okay, individual presentation. Now, once you go into the room, once you have already done, you're done with the formalities of having your attendance taken, your documents checked, and everything, you will be asked to sit down at your respective places. If you're candidate A, you'll sit at your candidate A place, and then B, C, D. Okay. Then you'll be given the question paper. You'll be asked to read the question paper. Then you will be given the opportunity. If you think that there are some things that you need to clarify, you need to ask the examiner, you may ask, but then it will not be a lengthy explanation, just a word or two. It wouldn't be a lengthy one. The examiner wouldn't spend such a long time trying to make you understand. So you have to practice, okay? You have to read the question, then you'll be given 2 minutes to prepare your response. Okay, when you prepare your response, what you should do is try to use the WH questions. Okay, that is the best way. Most of the time it will be like why? Why you say so? Why is it so? But then try to use the WH question so that you can come up with more views. For an example, let's say you are given a question whereby you have to your friend has been offered a place in the university. So he is going to leave his hometown to go to the university. What do you think are the important things that he should be taking with him? So candidate A would say a laptop. Candidate B would be given the option a handphone. Candidate candidate C might be given the option that he should take enough clothes. Candidate uh, he might be given the option to bring enough stationaries. Now you have to tell why. Why does he need to bring all those? How would it be helping? How would it be helpful to him? Since he's going away from his hometown, he's going to the university. Why would it be helpful for him to bring all these items? 2 minutes for you to prepare. You try to use um, linkers. You try to think. You don't have to crack your head to come up with high-fi answers. As long as it's logical and you're able to speak, you're able to present. Okay, so you'll be given 2 minutes to present your views. After you've prepared for 2 minutes, your examiner will ask you to present your views for 2 minutes. And this situation is the same for all your other candidates. All the other candidates too, along with you, your fellow members. But different options. As I told you just now, candidate A will be advised to bring the laptop, candidate B will be advised to bring the handphone, candidate C will be advised to bring enough clothes and then enough stationaries. Okay. So it's the different options, but the same situation. Your friend is going off to the university from his hometown. What should he bring? Same situation. That is the situation. Options are the ones that I told you just now. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, if it's group discussion, it will be the same, similar. Okay, you once you've already completed your individual presentation, task A, you will be going to group discussion. In group discussion, you will be given 2 minutes to prepare for your discussion. You have to prepare individually. You don't start speaking and all those. You will have papers given there. You will start preparing individually, and you will be given the opportunity to speak for about 10 minutes. Okay, you have to prepare. Okay. Sorry, there was something that I missed out earlier. when it came during the task A. During the task A, when your friends are speaking, you may take down notes of whatever they are speaking. Why is it important for you to take down the notes? You have to take down the notes so that you will be able to use them during the task B. During the task B, you may add more ideas to whatever your friend has uh, presented earlier. But it will be helpful because in case you are not comfortable with the option given to you, you may move on to some other option, but you won't have to crack your head too much. Your friend would have given presented his or her views. You take uh, your friend's views and you add in your own ideas. Okay, that is in task A. So that ideas which you have got in task A, you will be able to use it in task B. And please do add on a few more, one or two ideas. Okay, but the situation will be the same. And at the end, at the end of the discussion, that is about after the at the end of the 10 minutes, you have to come up with the of, decision, which is the best option. Which one should he bring? You have to come to a conclusion. All four of you will have to discuss. You have to give in and give and take. You have to present your arguments, the pros and cons and everything, and try to convince one another and come up with the decision. Okay? Okay, next please, Madam Lee. Okay, for this speaking test, you will be evaluated assessed on three criteria: task fulfillment, language, and communicative ability. Now, what is task fulfillment? In task fulfillment means whatever situation option given to you, are you able to um, respond to it accordingly? Okay, that means you don't go out, you don't divert out, you respond to the task. The task given to you was to advise your friend what he should bring. So you have to stick to that, and you have to make sure your friend is able, and you're giving the right advice to him. So that is your task. Now, language could be whatever language that you are uh, using, that your language should be good. Try to use LFW, that is low frequency words, but not all the time. And try to use various sentence structures, try to use proper vocabulary, watch your pronunciation, and also your intonation around the very same. Now, communicative ability. Communicative ability means how you're able to communicate with your friends, especially during a discussion. Are you able to divert your mind, accept your friends' views? Are you able to interrupt uh, politely? You are able, are you trying to be too dominating? You have to give and take, accept people's view. These are the what you call communicative ability. Next slide, please. Madam. Okay, task fulfillment. Okay, as I told you just now, what is task fulfillment? It means that you're able to understand the topic. Are you able to understand the topic? Are you able to respond to it accordingly? That is task fulfillment. Then you should be able to develop your ideas successfully. You are able to uh, develop it in a smoothly. Because normally they'll say try to come up with three ideas, but sometimes you only can come up with one idea, but you are able to elaborate it well, convincingly. You must be able to treat the topic, the task fulfillment with maturity. You're able to give strong views, not weak ones. You have to present your viewpoints clearly. Speak clearly. And as you present your viewpoints, try to use singular words. Okay? Try to use firstly, and then you move on to secondly, then you move on to thirdly. When you do that, you are actually giving an indication that you are moving to another point of view. Okay? You're already giving the indication to the examiner and your other fellow candidates that you're moving on to another view. So it's important that you have planned. That is why you're given 2 minutes to generate the idea and plan what you want to speak. Next slide, please. Now, language. When it comes to language, what they mean here is, are you able to convey what you mean clearly? Is it clear? Is the examiner able to understand you? Okay, that is what they mean by language. And you must use the appropriate variety of vocabulary. Uh, and you have to link your ideas effectively. That means each and every one of the idea is linked and it is also linked to the situation. If you are going to talk about your friend going off to university, then it has to be about your friend going to university, not going for tuition. So you have to be able to link it well with uh, the situation. Okay? And you have to link each and every one of the ideas that you have generated and be accurate. You use the accurate words, the exact words. You do not use words that's a bit blur. You're not sure of the kind of words that you are using. You just come up with any words that as long as you speak the word. Okay, so you must know how to speak. And also, you must make sure that you do not have fillers. Okay, you la, you don't use any Malay words there. Okay, there are some words like mass media and media massa. Some people will make mistakes by using the wrong word. Okay, so it's very important. Now we'll move on to communicative ability. Now, what is communicative ability? Communicative ability is when you are able to speak fluently. Okay, that means you have no doubt. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're speaking about. You know what it is about. You know how to tackle it. You speak fluently. Okay, without gaps, without pauses, without fillers and all those. Then you pronounce the words accurately. You must pronounce it well. Next, you must be confident. Mm. It's very important that you are confident. You do not stammer. Okay, you do not have gaps for words. You do not grasp for words. You keep on posting and thinking and wondering what word to fill in there, filling in the gap there. Okay, then interacts well and maintains discussion. That is communicative ability in task B actually. So you interact well with your friends. You do not just keep quiet or listen to your friends and say, this is, I agree. Yes, true, I agree. I don't agree. You don't do that. You have to interact. You have to tell, okay, you agree, fine. But why do you agree? What is your reason for agreeing with him? You have to interact, you have to maintain the discussion. You do not pause and wait, and there's a long silent moment there. No. And you must also show the initiative and interest in the topic. You must make sure you make the move to join in the discussion. You don't become a audience there. You don't sit and watch people speaking. You have to contribute your ideas. You have to help your members to come up with the final decision, which is the best option. And use the correct stress and intonation, your way of speaking. Okay, of course, sometimes we have this mother tongue influence and all those, but it shouldn't be far too obvious. I mean, of course, we are. We are not trying to speak the Queen's language here, but we must speak in proper way. We must use the correct words, correct terms, correct way of speaking. Okay, so uh, next slide, please. Okay, what do you do? Okay, speaking, task A. What you do? When you are given the paper, you read the situation. You must understand the situation. What is the situation? Then you underline the keywords, you analyze, and you focus. You focus on what you're supposed to do. Okay? Then step two, you brainstorm your ideas. You try to come up with 3 points. Okay? Try to come up. If you can't come up, but if you think you're good enough, you have 1 point and you're able to elaborate it and explain it with enough example, I think like a pro for 2 minutes. Okay, fine, good. So just go ahead. Okay, and make sure you use the proper words. The keywords are there. You know what words to use, and you use the proper phrases, the sentences, and everything. Then, when it comes to step three, is how you organize. You have to organize. You have to know what to say, which one to talk about first, which one to present first. You organize your ideas, then you use your signal words as I told you just now. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, you use your signal words, and you must introduce what are you going to talk about. You introduce the topic, just like writing, just like writing. You introduce, then you have got 3 paragraphs, body paragraph, and then you have your conclusion. So, but then you must show connection between each ideas that you have presented. Okay. Now, task A. The task is there. Okay. You take a look at the green introduction. During the introduction, you have the greetings and you introduce the main points. Okay. Then you have the body. Body, you have got 3 ideas. You elaborate your ideas and you give examples. Okay. And conclusion, you have your conclusion. So you summarize your main points and you thank your examiners. Okay. Now, can we go back to the previous slide, Madam Lim? Okay. Now, you have to make sure you know what you're going to present uh, after your, what are the next words that you want to make use of. For example, some people will say, uh, my friend, I would advise my friend to bring a laptop to the university because it will help him to uh, prepare his assignment, Google for information, and uh, and 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 so on. So you see, you have lost the idea. You don't know what else your friend can do with the laptop. So if you can't think of the answer, you just say he can prepare his assignment and he can Google for information. Finish. Don't go and say he can prepare his assignment, Google for information, and you have no idea. It's blocked. Then you say and so on. So it shows that you have no flow of thinking. You cannot think. The flow is not there. So don't be too ambitious, but at the same time, don't be too modest. Okay. So if you think there were 2 ideas, you just say 2 ideas. Don't go and say etc. and others. That shows that you have got a gap in your thinking already and your connection. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go to the next step now. When it comes to task speed, okay, that was task speed as well. Task speed. How do we go about uh, for task speed? We initiate to initiate the discussion. Okay, that is, you start off the discussion. You start the discussion, asking for how do you initiate. You can start off a discussion. You can ask for an opinion from your friends, or you can give or state your point of view. Okay, you can agree, strong agreement. That means you can say, I strongly agree with candidate B that we should advise our friend to bring a laptop. But if you do not agree, you just agree, you just express your agreement. Say, yes, I do agree with our candidate A, suggesting that we should bring a laptop. Okay. Partial agreement, you can say, I think I can accept your idea. It is a good one, okay, but I do not totally agree with you because bringing a laptop is not as important as bringing a handphone, because these days we can even use the handphone to Google for information and get our assignment done. So it's more important for him to bring his handphone. It will be lighter, it will be easier for him to carry about. It's not so heavy. He cannot misplace it, or find it difficult for him to carry it around, or finding a safe place to leave it. So you see, if you strongly disagree, strong disagreement, you can say, I totally disagree with you. I'm sorry, but I totally disagree with you. You express a disagreement. Uh, I'm sorry, I do not think I can agree with whatever you say just now. Uh, or you can say, if it's signal a contrasting idea. But on the other hand, however, you see, so you are giving another idea opposite to what the other person has said. Okay, I hope you can follow till now. Okay, next, okay, strong suggestion. Uh, Present a strong suggestion, ask for suggestion. Okay, a strong suggestion means you are able to present solutions. You're able to reject the ideas or suggestions or opinions, or you're able to persuade your friends to uh, accept your idea. Okay, and a suggestion here is contrast or justify. You give a suggestion to you are not agreeing with your friend. You find that it is not acceptable to you. So you want to give another idea and you justify why you say so. Or you can even ask for clarification by asking, can you please explain what you're actually trying to tell me? What do you mean by saying this? You can ask, but don't do it too often, you know. Don't do it too often. This is my personal opinion with you. Huh? Don't do it too often. You see, and even that person sitting there for 2 minutes, he would be cracking his eyes trying to come up with all these ideas. 2 minutes there, it's not easy, I tell you. 2 minutes, you have to really practice. You have to make sure you speak in English with your friends every time. You're able to present your opinion, your view, your argument. So, if you go and suddenly ask, can you please repeat what you said? My God, it will be, if the person is a fluent one, the person is able to do so, it's okay. But if the person is already struggling, so don't do it too often. Huh? And you can even give your suggestion by interrupting. I'm sorry, excuse me, please. I beg your pardon. If you don't mind, may I interrupt? You can interrupt and you give your suggestions. And to ask for suggestions, you can accept ideas, opinions, suggestions, and you ask for it. You can also ask for whatever suggestion that you want them to give, or you can give suggestion, and also clarification. Sometimes your friend would have explained, but the other, sometimes candidate A would have explained, but candidate B can't really understand what A has spoken. So as a candidate B, you can even say, what you mean is this, isn't it? This is what you mean. You can explain. You can help your friend to really give a clearer picture of what you're actually speaking. It is also good because you're actually guiding, you're helping, you're maintaining the discussion. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, closing a discussion. What is the meaning of closing a discussion? That is when you come to a decision. What is your decision? What have you all agreed to? After the 10 minutes discussion, about 9 minutes, 30 seconds. after the discussion, what have all of you decided? So you don't, as what I used to tell my students, you don't have to argue and fight so much and say my idea is the best idea. I'm the one who is supposed to. You're supposed to accept my idea, and this is should be the decision. We don't have to do that. What are you going to get? Nobody's going to give you a trophy, okay? Because we want to see how well you're able to communicate, how well you're able to present your ideas, how good is your language, how well are you able to do your task. That is what we want to see. We are not trying to. Nobody is going to get the championship there. So we want to see how well you can divert your uh, point of view, how well you can persuade your friends to follow your ideas, how you present it. So you summarize the main points, then when you conclude, you summarize the main points, saying that I think bringing a laptop would be the best idea because of so and so and so. Then you conclude. You're coming to the end of the discussion. You can say that our group has decided bringing a laptop to the university is the best. But when you people have already discussed, you have already come up with an decision, there will be sometimes some of your friends might be unfocused, I guess, or they will become a bit panicky. What they will do, they will say, "Yes, I agree with your the decision, but I think bringing the handphone would be better." Don't do that. Be focused. You have to follow. You have. I mean, be focused. You should know what the group discussion is about. Don't get yourself diverted. Okay? So you give your decision and you thank the examiners and that's the end of the test. Okay? So thank you. So this is the sitting position. Okay. The slide. Can you see there will be chief examiner, that is examiner 1. And then on the left of the examiner 1 would be candidate A, B. Then the examiner 2 would be sitting opposite to examiner 1. Then on the left of examiner 2 would be candidate C and candidate D. Okay, that is the sitting position. Those are the candidates. Okay, remember this. Please do remember this. Bring your IC. You might think this is a small matter. Why must we be reminded to bring our IC? But mind you, there are quite a number of us who forget to bring our IC. Okay, because at that moment you're saying, I changed my bag, and I forgot to put in the wallet into my bag. Okay, and remember to bring your slip. Print it out, bring your slip. But all the writing materials will be provided. Your paper, your eraser, your sharpener, and your pencil. These will be provided. So be early. For those who are going for the session 1, we should be at 7:30. Be there by 7:30. Those who are going for the second session, be at the center by 11. Okay. You have to be so there because there will be some formalities which need to be settled. The usher has to check on your documents. Even examiner 1 and examiner 2 will check on your documents. So we have to get all these formalities done. So you get be there early, be punctual. Okay, it will be best if you are a new person to the center, you do not know where the center is. It's okay for you to go and visit the center once to see where it is. Okay, dress neatly, formal, no slippers, no jeans. If you wear t-shirt, make sure it's a collar t-shirt for the month, and preferably be formal. Okay, the next slide, please. Now, when you go for your speaking, there'll be 2 rooms. One would be the waiting room and one would be the examination room. Waiting room is the place where the usher would assist you to check your attendance and your documents. Wait till your number is called in and then you can practice. While you're waiting, you can practice in the room. some schools they have some questions stored in the room. You can use it. You can bring your book. You the MCO, I mean, with the social distancing, you cannot sit so close, huh? Okay, you cannot sit close to one another. Then in the examination room, the examiners will check your documents. The test will be conducted for 30 minutes. Task A, 2 minutes for each candidate, as I told you earlier. Task B, 10 minutes for all 4 candidates. Then you may leave the center after the test. That means when whatever things that you have brought with you, you can carry it to the examination room and leave it at the side or on the table which has been provided. Then you may leave after the test, you may leave the room, but your phones will be kept by the examiner or usher, it depends. Okay, and you might have to wait, or you might have can just go off right after collecting the phone. You will not be able to meet the candidates who haven't sat for the papers yet. Okay. Okay, now next, take down notes when candidates speak during task A. It would be useful in task B. Okay, it is important. Take down notes. Whatever your friend is speaking, take down notes for you to be able to use it in task B. And practice turn taking. Okay, what is turn taking? Turn taking means once candidate A has spoken, it's not necessary it must be candidate B who has to take speak next. Okay, it can be candidate C or candidate D. Taking turn means candidate A will speak, candidate B will speak, candidate C will speak, then candidate D will speak. That is taking turns. But don't take turns. This is a discussion. This is not a forum or whatever you're given. You're asked to take turns. So this is turn taking. So anybody can speak first, and anybody can have the discussion. Just like a meeting. When you are in a meeting, how do you speak? You do not take turns. It's turn taking. Anybody can speak. So you take turns. I mean, it's turn taking. You can, anybody can interrupt and speak and be polite and share ideas. Do not dominate. Some people will not give the opportunity for another candidate to speak. The candidate will just speak and present his views and somehow try to convince that his idea is best idea. No, don't do that. You can ask your other candidates to give their view by asking, uh, what do you think, candidate B? Do you agree with me? What is your opinion, candidate C? Candidate D, what have you got to say? Do you have anything to say? You can ask one another. You can ask your friends to participate. Okay? Do not be so dominating. But at the same time, do not try to help all the other candidates and forget to help yourself. Uh, Sometimes it happens. The candidate will try to help other friends because the other friends will say, you know, lah, you are good, you are clever, you can do it. I am so scared, I don't know what to speak. You must help me. So this person will be so much into helping the other person, he'll forget help himself. So don't do that. Huh? You make sure you also speak, you also give your opinion, you share your ideas, and you ask your friends to speak as well. Okay, so be fluent, avoid fillers and long pauses. You know, in our style here we have this uh, style of speaking. We tend to have language, we mix our language. Sometimes as we are speaking, you'll say, uh, it is good to bring the laptop. Don't you think? Can't candidate A? Can't. It is bahasa Melayu. Okay? Or anu. This happens, you know. It's funny, but it happens. Sometimes using these such fillers or having a gap, having the long pauses like, what is that? Avoid that. That is why you must plan. That is why you must be focused. That is why you must know, connect your situation with your options. That is why you must know where your idea is flowing to, where is it going off to. Okay, speak. You can explain. You can give your ideas, and you can share your ideas. And if at all any of the candidates they are stuck, they are not able to give their point of view, another person can interrupt, can go move in, and that person can speak. It's okay. You can say, "Are you meaning? Do you mean this? Are you trying to tell this? Is this what? Are you help?" Sometimes people will get blank. The mind will go blank. All of a sudden, they just forget the simplest word. So you just can help one another. Okay, and try to use LFW, low frequency word. But it doesn't mean that you use low frequency throughout your discussion. No, about 2 or 3 words, one or two words is okay. So it shows that you know something, but use it accordingly, according to the situation. It has to be according. Don't just use it because you know the word, but it does not suit the situation. You have to be careful. And be careful with your pronunciation. Okay, you have to make sure that the examiner is able to understand you, and even your other candidates are able to follow you. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, that was the end of speaking. Okay, Mm. and now we'll be going to reading section. Okay, that is paper 3.
Madam, I'm going to play the audio, yeah, for the band 6 and
Oh
band 5.
yes. Okay. Thank you, Madam Lim. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, let me say something first. Can I say something first?
Yeah, you may.
Okay.
Please
Now,
say something.
there will be an audio played. That is a sample of band 6. That is C2 and C1. Okay, C2 and C1. The first one would be for C2, a sample of it, how you should speak. And the next audio would be for C1. Okay, that is what we are supposed to score right. We are supposed to score
Yeah,
C2 or C1. So that is a sample. Okay, please listen to it. Thank you.
okay.
The school principal is someone who has leadership skills and interpersonal skills. Managing the needs of a community isn't much different than managing the needs of, say, the staff and the students of a school. A school principal is usually a senior teacher who has been working alongside students and teachers alike for many years. Thus, he has learned the fine art of dealing with people. So, if the school principal is chosen as the chairman of the Residents Association, I'm sure he would be able to accommodate the whims and fancies of the residents there while working towards the goal that is set.
In my opinion, I think that the school principal is the most suitable candidate to be the chairman of the resident associations. Why? This is because a school principal is used to organize a school. As we know, a school require a lot of management skill since it is very big and involve a lot of people. The school principal have a really good communicating skill, and he can communicate with people effectively, and he can make people listen to him. Uh, Another reason is the school principal is used to interact with so many types of people, such as parents, adults, students.
Okay, that's all for the audio. Okay, madam, so we are going to reading, right?
Okay, next slide, please.
Okay. Wait a moment, please.
Okay, you have listened to the speaking, the audio just now. I think as you listen to it, you would have noticed that there is a difference between audio 1 and audio 2. Audio 1, she was much more fluent, and audio 2, she was uh, trying to, of course, she was good, but there was some kind of gap. There is like, there's no, you don't have the feeling. Okay, so that was the audio for task A. Okay, so now we'll move on to reading. Reading section, reading would be paper 3. Now, reading, first of all, before I begin to tell anything about reading, the proverb, the saying, practice makes perfect, fits well for this paper, extremely well. If you do not practice, it will be very difficult for you to tackle this paper. You have to practice. There's no shortcut to it. Only when you practice, you'll be able to understand it. Only when you practice, you'll be able to detect the answers that's needed. You'll be able to connect it. Okay? And only when you practice, you'll have enough vocabulary. You will know how to answer the questions. So this is something that's important for you. Okay? Now, when it comes to reading, there are 45 MCQs, multiple choice questions, all MCQ, 45 questions, 6 texts with 3 to or 4 answer options. Okay, sometimes they'll give you 3 options, sometimes they'll give you 4 options. Now, text 1 comes with graphics, question 1 to 7. If you have your books with you, you can go through it. If any one of you have got Muet book with you, as you listen to this, you can even go through it, you can check on it. Okay, then your text 2 till text 6, it's only MCQ, it's a text, and you have to answer questions based on the text given. Okay, for text 2, it will be question 8 to 14, text 3, 15 to 21, text 4, 22 to 29, text 5, 30 to 37, text 6, 38 to 45. Okay, only 45 questions. It will be for 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay, so next slide please, madam. Okay, most of the text, they are articles. It would be academic text. It would be a bit, it is not like the Form 5 text, you come up with your own um, creative writing and all those. Most of these texts are informative texts. Okay, it would be academic text or electronic text, literary text, newspaper, articles from newspaper, articles from journals, articles from magazines, speeches or interviews. Okay, and if you take a look at these papers, at these text articles there, they would have notified where it has been taken from. So these are all academics, academic texts. Okay, the next slide please. Okay, when it comes to reading, what are the reading skills which should be tested here? It should be skimming. Now, what is skimming? Skimming is when you skim through and you try to read quickly to get a general idea of whatever that you are reading. Okay, next would be scanning. Scanning means you are trying to get a specific information that you need. You scan for the answer. Okay, You scan for the answer. For example, you try to get the date or the name or certain phrases or number. You scan and you do it. Okay. Next would be distinguishing the main ideas from the supporting details. That means main idea would be a central idea. That would be a central, the gist of the passage, and it will be the one that gives you what the person is going to write about or what you are going to read about. Okay, so sometimes it will be found at the beginning or in the middle or at the end of the text. Now, next one would be drawing, sorry, uh, supporting details. Now, what would be supporting details? Supporting details would be the development of the main idea. It would be further elaborating the main idea. So you have to distinguish which is the main idea and which is the elaboration of the main idea. What is the person speaking about? Okay, what is the person speaking about, and how is the person making you understand the idea that he's speaking about? He has elaborated, he has explained, he has given you examples. That's supporting details. He has elaborated it, developing the main idea. Okay, so it can be either the supporting details could be a description or definition or reasons or facts or examples. Okay, next, drawing conclusion. What is drawing conclusion? Drawing conclusion means making a judgment. You are trying to conclude, you're trying to sum up what is the uh, text about. Okay, the person will sum up and write what is the text about, or sometimes there would be signal words given. Words such as finally, in conclusion, mm, in a nutshell, as a result, drawing conclusion. Then making inference. Making inference means making an assumption based on whatever evidence has been provided in the text. So you have to infer. You infer it based on your the facts given or opinions or experience or your observation or description given there. Okay, that is making inference. Now summarizing. Summarizing is it is a brief statement of the main idea. Okay, they identify the keywords or phrases and recognize, or it will be reorganized or restructured. It will be rephrased. Okay, that is how they would have summarized it. Maybe they would have used different words or even in fewer words. But the whole, they would have written the whole passage, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one would be summarizing it with fewer words, with using different words, but the idea is still there. It is maintained. Okay. Then deriving meaning from context. It means that you have to figure out the meaning of the words from the context. What is meant there? Now, sometimes the clue, the meaning of it can be found before or after the word. It could be contextual clues as well. It could be antonyms or synonyms, examples, or definition. So you have to derive the meaning from the context. What is meant? So there will be clues will be there. Okay, referencing would be anaphoric referencing or cataphoric referencing, which means that it will be like samples given words where it refers back to another word or phrase which was used earlier in the sentence. It will be referring, it will be earlier, or it will be something that comes later. So sometimes you have to read what is before the sentence to get the meaning. Okay, you have to read before and after. You don't jump. You don't think that this is not important. Of course, just now I said skimming and scanning. For the first read, you must read the whole passage. You don't keep jumping or flipping over thinking that it's not important. Because one sentence might be, the meaning of one sentence might be brought in before or after the sentence. Then distinguishing facts from opinions. Facts are the truth, something that is proven, which is true. Opinion means it's the idea of the person. It is not a fact. I mean, you do not have anything to prove. You have got nothing to support you. It's your opinion. Facts means it has got um, proof there. It has proven. So you have to be able to distinguish between facts and opinions. Then reading critically to a certain purpose, tone, and attitude. This is to know, as I told you earlier, even for listening, you have to listen critically, you have to listen to know what is the tone of the speaker. What is the expression of the speaker? So similarly, you read this, you have to read critically to be able to identify what is the purpose, what is the tone, what is the attitude of the writer, what is he actually trying to convey. That is, you have to read critically. Then predicting outcome means reading reading and making an educated guess of what the writer is trying to say. You have to predict what is he actually trying to say, but it has to be intellectual guess. Okay, it has to be intellectual because these are all academic articles. You have to give and make an educated guess, intellectual guess, and this helps you to read faster and understand the text better. And finally, discerning the organization of the passage. So you can see how the writer has actually arranged or shaped the idea in the passage, how the ideas have been grouped, okay, and how they are being connected from one another. How is the link between the passages? How have they linked the passages with the main idea? Okay, so this is the reason why I say you need to practice. You need to read and do lots of exercises. One text one day. You try. One text one day. After about a week, you try two texts. Before your exam, you should at least do 5 papers and set the time. Now that is very important. Only then you'll be able to upkeep with the time given, the limited time given. Because the texts are quite long, uh, so you have to. Okay. So the next slide, please, Madam Lee. Now, for text 1, it will be question 1 to 7. 1 to 7, it will be non-linear to linear text. So pay attention to the title. The title in the text, in the uh, whatever graphic that they have given you. Pay attention to it. What are the titles? What are the subtitles? The headings, subheadings, legends, the keys given there, and the source of the symbols. You have to pay attention. Read up everything. Even when you're given the test paper, they'll even ask you to check on the number of pages. That is also reading. Even the number of the pages you have to see you have enough pages. So what's more the text? If they ask you to check on the number of the pages, what's more the content of the text? You have to read up everything. You don't leave out. Okay? so that you'll be able to answer the questions. Sometimes the questions would be based on the graphic. Okay, now this is one part, true, false, and not stated questions. Excuse me. Okay, true, false, not stated questions. Okay, this one, most of the candidates or students, they become confused. They'll say, what do you mean by true, false? I can't find. What is true, false, and not stated? Now, true means the true, false, not stated, these three answer options, you have to understand the fact presented and focus on the factual information. Okay? Now, how can you do that? You can scan the issue presented. Okay? Info, is it found or not stated? You have to find out. If the answer is true, the info would be found. It would be the same as in the question, but maybe using different words, synonyms or paraphrase. Okay? It will be the same type. Or if you have to find out, or is it contradicting? Is it opposite of what is being stated? Okay? That is false. But if it's not found, not stated, then you cannot find it. It's not found, it's not stated at all. Info is not found, that is not stated. But if the info is found, you have to make sure you are able to see, understand, you're able to find out if it's the same. If it is true, it would be the same with the question. If it is not true, it would not, it would be contradicting, it would be opposite, then it is false. Okay? Next slide, please. Okay, true. As I said just now, what is the meaning of true? True means the statement agrees with the issue presented in the question. That is true. True enough, they are talking about the fact. That is the right thing. That is the correct thing. That is it. Okay, that is true. False. False means it is not. It is stated, but in different way. It's not what it is the question. It contradicts. It is opposite of what is being stated. So that is false. If it's not stated, the information cannot be found. Okay? No information is given. Something, it might be given, but it is not about that issue. It will be about some other issue. But it will be so close, so close. You might think that is the answer. Yes, given. But you must be very careful. It can be tricky, you would have found. If you have done enough exercises, uh, then it would have been found. I mean, you would have found it. Okay, there's somebody who has asked, what is LFW? LFW is low frequency words. That means words that people do not commonly use. Like sometimes you say, I expected this to happen. That is something that we commonly say, but I anticipated it. That's something people don't normally use. You can hardly hear them using such words. So low frequency word means uh, words which people do not use often, but you can use one or two words, or of higher level, higher degree. If it's HFW, high frequency words, are words that we commonly use. You can hear everybody using it. You can hear people using it in writing or in speaking. That is common high frequency words. Low frequency words are words which we seldom use. We seldom hear people saying, but make sure If you know the words, you use it accordingly. Okay, I hope I've answered the question. Huh? Somebody asked me about LFW. Now, next, MCQ. What is MCQ? MCQ means the main idea, details, or vocabulary, or the writer's opinion. It is mean MCQ is multiple choice question. Normally, that is what they are asked about. Okay, what is the right main idea? What are the details? They'll question you about it. So follow the information and accordingly, okay, follow order of information, section, paragraph, or text. But you must understand this information. It is not like question one would be paragraph one, question two will be paragraph two. Sometimes yes, some questions they will put down which line, which paragraph. That some questions they do put down, or sometimes they will say uh, the primary use in the primary purpose of paragraph 5 is to so that time they do mention which paragraph, so you can concentrate on that particular paragraph. But most of the time the information is linked to one another. At times, to get the main idea you have to read the whole passage, only then you can get the idea. Some supporting details will be in different paragraphs. Okay, so you have to read the whole passage to get the gist. Unless if they say what is the meaning of paragraph 5, in paragraph 4 the writer used this word, what does he mean about it, or what does he refer to, that is different. Okay, so underline the keywords in question, locate information in the text. You underline the keywords and you locate the information, skim the text, check for possible answers. Some may be paraphrased. If what is in the text would be different from the question. Uh, and some vocabulary found uh, would be in options. Only one word will be correct. Sometimes the vocabulary will be found, the same particular vocabulary would be found in every one of the answer. But there will be one or two words accompanying this vocabulary which would actually indicate the correct answer. Okay, so you have to read carefully. That is why I kept on. I told you very much in the beginning. You have to practice. Unless it's you cannot just go and sit and say, this is reading. I can do it. No, you have to practice because there are quite a number of skills which is actually being tested here. Okay, next slide, please, madam. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts? Okay, when you do the reading, when you go for the reading, read the title. Okay, find, read, find out which is the source from. It would be in the text itself. You will know, and also read up and try to get the main ideas or keywords, and take note of the transition when they move from one idea to another idea. You take note of the transition words. If they say moreover, that means they are giving more idea about what is being discussed in the earlier paragraph. But if the word is however, that means they are giving a different point of view based, compared to the earlier paragraph. You understand what I mean here? For example, if in the first paragraph they have spoken about the life of Africans there, how they find it difficult to get water supply, how far they have to walk, how much of effort that needs to be done. Okay, that's paragraph one. Then in paragraph two, they could have given the transition word as however, the government is trying to build more, find more resources. So it is paragraph, the first paragraph is actually speaking, indicating or showing how much of effort is needed and how much the people are suffering. The next paragraph is actually showing you, telling you how the people are, how the government is actually trying to help these people to ease their burden and how much effort has been done. So it's different. But if they use the word moreover, that means they are going to talk more about the effort and the suffering which is being endured by these people. From paragraph 1, it's a continuation. It is being continued. So that is why you have to take note of the transition. Okay. Then positive mentality, as I just like for the listening just now. Okay, you have to be positive. You have to be like focused. You must, as you read, you must try to don't have the kind of feeling. Ayo, this is so difficult. I can't do it. This is like I can't follow. When you have that kind of mentality, that kind of thought, then it will be very difficult for you to do it. So you have to be focused and be positive. And as you do it, you look for justification. Justification. That means whatever that is being uh, written there in the rating, whatever you read, there will be explanation given. There will be justification given. So you have to be focused. You have to follow. You have to try to see the link. You have to see the connection between one paragraph to another paragraph, one line to another line. But you don't have to do it in a very rigid way. That is why I said practice. You only then you can be a relaxed reader. Already you're sitting for the exam. That is already taxing. And if you do not have enough practice, you do not have enough exposure, that is going to make things even worse. Okay? The don'ts, as I told you, is don't be influenced by your own views or opinions. Even if you do not agree with what is in the text, you, it doesn't matter because your duty there, your job there is to answer the questions. Nobody wants to know what's your opinion or whatever. So you don't have to be influenced by your own views and opinions. And do not spend too much time on one question. That is why, as I'm repeatedly telling you, you have to practice so that you're able to answer questions 1 hour, 30 minutes, 45 questions, 6 passages, long passages for you to read. So you have to practice. And you don't, at the same time, some of you will have what some of you might have the idea of 45 questions divided by 90 minutes. 90 minutes, I have to read this text in this amount of time, this duration, and I must answer the question in this uh, amount of time. So when you keep that in your mind, you will find that you are um, not able to concentrate. So it is important. Okay. Then do not mislead by partially true statements. You have to uh, read up, as I told you just now, the vocabulary will be there accompanied by some other words. So don't get influenced. You must make sure you are able to focus and do not make assumptions. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, that was the end of reading. I hope you, whatever that I've told you just now, mm, you can only do it, as I told you once again, and I'm going to tell you for the last time, you have to practice. That is the only thing that I can tell you. If you don't practice, you will not know what I'm speaking about. Okay? So now let's go on to writing. Actually, this is my favorite part, writing. Okay? For writing, we have got two questions. Question 1 is transferring information from a non-linear source to a linear text. That means you'll be given graphs, bar charts, line graphs, tables. Okay, you'll be given such, and you will have to write a text about the non-linear source. And the time we for the whole paper, for writing paper, it is 1 hour 30 minutes. But normally we would advise our students to spend about 40 minutes for this paper, and you interpret the information in the visual. Okay, whatever information that you see in the visual, that is what you write. You only write what you see. What you do not see, you do not write at all. uh, in about 150 to 200 words. Okay. Now, question 2 would be uh, question 2 would be extended writing. Here we would advise you all to spend about 15 minutes and you write an essay based on the topic given, not less than 350 words. Okay, so you have to plan your writing pieces to stay focused. Only if you plan, you will know what to write next. If you do not plan, you will not have an idea on how to go on. Okay, so next slide, please. Now, writing question 1. Writing question 1, what are the things that we'll be looking into? It has to be accurate, clear overview of main trends, differences, and patterns. That means whatever that you write, it has to be whatever you write, it has to be based on what you've seen, the question, okay, in the visual there. And you must present and highlight and explain KF. KF is key feature. Okay, key feature. Key feature means what is being discussed here. What is the main thing there? And you have to write your analysis and synthesis effectively. And when it comes to language, it has to be accurate and appropriate language. Even vocabulary has to be accurate and appropriate, and there should be various sentence structures. You have to use sentences like compound sentences, complex sentences, various sentence structures. You can use simple sentences, but minimize it. If possible, to get your C2 and C1, stick to complex and compound sentences. Okay, and also they want to see the clarity. How once you have written your writing, your question 1, we want to see how's the clarity of the meaning, how well you can, how much clarity there is in your writing, how well it could be understood, and how you link your ideas, and what is the evidence of planning. You see, when you do your writing, when you give your writing piece, it can be detected if you have planned. I think I don't have to really explain to you. You should know when uh, when you read a text, you should be able to understand, or you would be able to detect if your student has actually planned what he has written. You can know. So even when you send in your writing piece, we can see if there is an evidence of planning, if you have actually planned. Okay? So it's important for you to plan. Next slide, please. Now, question 1. We'll be looking into task fulfillment. Okay? introduction and overview of trend, accurate, okay, introduction and overview of trend, accurate, complete and clear. So how you introduce your writing piece, overview of trend, that means you take a look at your visuals. What do you see? What is the thing that you see there? Your overview at one look, bird eye, bird eye view, what you see. And it has to be accurate, complete and clear in few words. Okay? Um, and another thing that they will be looking into is the key features. You have to illustrate the key features successfully, illustrate. And the analysis and synthesis should be based on the visuals. You do not write your own. It has to be based on what you see in the visuals should be written in text. Only that, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, so language, it has to be accurate language with clear meaning. That means the reader should be able to understand what you have written. There should be various sentence structures, simple, compound, complex, and appropriate vocabulary. Display evidence of planning, ideas are linked effectively. Okay, as I told you earlier. Okay, next slide, please, madam. Okay, now, next question would be question 2. So, question 2, we'll be looking into how excellent is your task fulfillment, the maturity of you treating the question, how matured you are in treating the question. That means you have to, the way you answer the question, it has to be um, the way you treat it. There should be some maturity. You do not, uh, you, the way you present it, it is not childish. Okay? And you must have confident language control. Your language control should be there. You have to be confident. Okay? Then various vocabulary and sentence structures, as question 1 just now. The ideas are linked and there is clear unity and coherence in paragraphs. Okay? Next one, please. Okay. For question 2, the task fulfillment. We'll be looking into task fulfillment. Your introduction has to be accurate, okay, complete, clear. What when you write about the question, it has to be, the introduction has to be complete and clear. For example, let me give you an example of the introduction. Okay. Competition is necessary to achieve success. Okay, let's say that is the thing. Competition is necessary to achieve success. Do you agree with this statement? So you have to introduce what do you mean by competition? Why do you think, what do you mean by necessary to achieve success? Your introduction has to be apt and you have to give your stand. Okay, do you agree? Do you disagree? And some people, they partially agree, neutral. But it is better for you to agree or disagree instead of going into neutral, because you have to give strong argument on both sides. Only then it will be good for you to follow the neutral stand. If you agree, then it's totally agree. You go on with your arguments why you agree. If you disagree, you go on with your arguments why you disagree. But if you give neutral, you have to make sure they are balanced. Now, most of the candidates, what they do, they will pick, they will choose to write neutral, give neutral stand, because they will find it difficult to generate the idea. They can only think of two agree, or they can think of only two disagree. So what they will do to make things easy, they will choose neutral. But sometimes when they choose to write as a neutral writer with neutral agreement there, what happens is their arguments would not be strong. Their presentation wouldn't be strong. Uh, Either the disagreement, neutral means agree and disagree. Either the agree would be strong and the disagreement would be weak, or the disagreement would be strong and the agreement would be weak. It wouldn't be balanced. Okay, so the ideas has to be clear, convincing with details. Okay, you have to have a clear, I give a clear idea, convincing with details and examples. It has to be effectively developed and linked. And the tone has to be consistent. You have to have the consistent tone. And the discussion also should be matured. When it comes to the conclusion, it has to be brief. You restate your ideas, your stand, and your ideas. Now, language and organization. When it comes to language, it has to be accurate and the meaning has to be clear. It should come across. The reader should be able to understand. And the tenses. If you are going to use past tense, it's past tense. It depends on the tenses. You must be consistent. Pay attention to the spelling, punctuation, mechanism of writing. Okay? And sentence structure, vocabulary, it should be of variety and appropriate. The ideas has to be coherent, convincing, consistent, and there should be evidence of planning. Okay? Next slide, please. Question 1. When you come to writing question 1, you have to understand the question, analyze and underline the keywords, study the symbols. Okay. Identify the key features, variables, and establish the connection. Link between the key features. Okay, that means you must know what is the key feature there. What are the variables, and you must be able to make the connection, link between the key features. That means you have to link between one key feature with another key feature, analyze it, and identify the trend, identify the movement. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Is it the same? Is it being maintained steady? Is it dropping? You have to use identify what is the trend like. Is it becoming more popular? Is it being preferred? Okay, and organize the ideas well. That means you have to uh, write your introduction, your overview, analyze, synthesis, the key feature, trend, your time feature. You have to have all this for your analysis. For your analysis, you must have key feature, must have the trend word. What is the trend word? Decreasing, uh, hiking up, dropping. These are the trend words. Time feature. That means you have to tell what is the duration. When was the time? Okay, 1955. For the first 2-3 months. Data means you can take from the visual. Uh, uh, what is the amount? Sometimes what is the number? What is the amount? How much time? These are the datas, the numbers there. Comparison means when you write the sentence, you must be able to compare. I'll be showing you examples afterwards. I'll be showing you examples. So please don't get confused. And also linkers to provide connection. And finally, you'll have your conclusion. Okay. So for question 1, okay, how do you go about it? How do you go about writing for your question 1? Okay, title. Title is not included in the word count, but you should write the title. I would advise you to write the title. Now, you can get the title from the question or from the titles of the stimulus, your visuals there. That is where you get your title from. Then introduction. Introduction is when you introduce the report. You introduce the report about what is it about, when did it happen, where did it happen. It can be extracted from the title. Okay. What is overview? Overview is when you give the overall movement of the visual. You don't have to give any specific data. When it comes to overview, it is just uh, a general idea of how the movement of the graph or your line graph or your bar chart, general idea, a general one. How is it? For example, if you it is a visual about holiday destination for young adults in 2005, what is the general view for in 2005 and 2010? That means generally there were more destinations chosen by the young adults uh, in 2010 compared to 2005. So there's no data generally. Or you can say generally, more youngsters went on holidays in 2010, generally, overview. Okay, since I can't show you the question, I can't really.
Do you want to show the example?
No.
Not yet.
I'll explain to them first, then I'll show the
Okay.
example. Okay, what is analysis or synthesis? Analysis and synthesis are key features, trend. What is the trend, right? Is it how's the movement? Data is a number, and then duration, the time frame, comparison. Now, what is synthesis? Synthesis is a connection between two visuals, and it has two key features with two sets of data. That means two analysis. You have got two analysis, it becomes one synthesis, but both the analysis has to be from different visuals, not the same visual. It should be from different visual. And as a conclusion, you reword or overview and summarize the report overall. Okay, Madam Lim, I think
Yeah.
uh,
Show
can you show
the
the example? I think I better show the example.
okay.
Okay.
Wait a
Can
moment.
you enlarge that? Only the example, the question, sample example.
A moment, please. Okay.
No, I, I think you enlarge the question only first so that I can show them what is key
Question
feature.
first.
This is the question. Okay. Can it be enlarged? Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. A study was carried out on the number of visitors to 3 farms from 2012 and the promotional activities carried out to attract the tourists in 2016. Analyze the data by linking the information in the visuals. You should write between 150 to 200 words. Now, I'll show you. You take a look at axis Y. Axis Y, Madam Lim?
Okay, this is why.
Okay, that is axis Y. Y. Okay, that is axis Y. That is what you call data, the line for data, And all those you see on the bar chart where it's written 36, 28, 25, 20, 18 for Mark's Farm, and then Frizzy House 30, 39, 46, 51, 59, and then for D Nature Farm, D Nature 46, 50, 46 in the same time for the 3 years. Okay, now that is data. That is data. Okay. Now, if you take a look at axis Y, the data, you have to pay attention to that. If you take a look at axis Y, the data of the visitors are in thousands. This you have to be very careful. That part you have to be very careful. Make sure you pay attention to that. Sometimes it will be in tens, sometimes it will be in hundreds, sometimes it will be in millions or billions. You have to pay attention. So when you write your data, it has to be 35,000, 28,000. Never make the mistake. Sometimes the candidates, they do not see the axis Y, what is the detail there. So when they do not see, they make a mistake of just writing 35, 28, 25. So that is a total disaster. You lose all your marks because the data is wrong already. Okay? Okay, that is data. Now key feature. What is key feature? Key features are the name of the farms down there and the legend there. That's the time duration. Okay. Key features. And okay, the name of the farms there, Mark's Farm, Crazy House, D Nature. These are all the key features. Okay. Then when it comes to table one, earlier it was figure 1. Table 1, a lucky draw. Can you enlarge that part, Madam Lee?
Which one?
The
This one.
table
Okay.
1, table 1.
This one.
Okay. Lucky draw.
Sorry. Moment.
Ah.
It's jumpy. Okay. It's a challenge. Okay.
Lucky draw. Pony rides around the farm. Pet the animals. Senior citizen discount. Photography session. Learn all about farming. Pick and choose activity. These are key features also. Okay. So far I've shown you data, key feature. Now let's take a look at the trend. Now what is trend? Trend is, you see the movement of the chart. For Max Farm, it is dropping. Okay. For Frizzy House, it is increasing. Okay. For DM Nature, how is it? It increased, then dropped, then maintained. Increased, dropped, and maintained. That is the trend.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam Ling.
Sorry.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay, you can see that that is the trend. Okay, so now you've seen the key feature, data, the trend. Then you see the legends there, the legends are, that is the time frame. Okay, that is the time frame. So You have seen what now overview. If you take what you call as overview, what is overview? When you take a look at it, what do you see? Generally, what can we see? What can we see in general? Generally, the visitors to Crazy Farm began to increase over the years. You can say that. Okay, that is the general view. You do not give any data. You just give a very general view of what you see. Okay, I'm trying to be as slow as possible so that you're able to follow. Okay,
Okay.
now we'll move on to generally. You can, or if you want to, Madam Lim, I want you to show the
Yeah.
question. Show
Question
the
first lah.
answer.
Okay.
Okay. Question.
Your
Okay.
question, Okay.
Okay. Or you can even say generally different promotional activities influence the number of visitors to the three farms in 2016. Okay, you see down there, if we go down the table, different activities, isn't it? Madam Lim?
Yeah. Go
Ah,
down the activity.
go down, show the
Okay.
table. You see different activities, isn't it? Different
Yes.
activities. So
Lucky draw.
generally, different promotional activities. You can see how many activities there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 activities, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 7.
7. Okay. Generally, different promotional activities influence promotional activities influence the number of visitors to the three farms in 2016. Number of visitors in 2016. We are talking about 2016. You see the table there, the activities. So when you give a general overview, generally you combine visual figure 1 and table 1. You have to write down. You don't say generally different promotional activities influence the number of visitors to the three farms. You don't say that and stop. You must put in there in 2016. You must write in 2016 because the promotional activities were for 2016. Okay, that is what we meant by general overview. Can we go back to the slide, the earlier slide before this?
Earlier slide. Okay.
I think analysis synthesis. The next slide.
Next one.
Next one, please. Oh, so we are already reaching the example, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
If you want to show side by side, you can tell me.
Okay, next. Can I take a look at the question once again, please?
Okay.
Okay, so if you take a look at the figure 1, you can see there were 5 years given. But if you take a look at the promotional activity, it is only for 2016. So when you write your synthesis, you have to link table 1 and figure 1. But you link the data for 2016. You don't link the data for other years with table 1 because you cannot see the link there. Now let's take a look at the answer, sample answer. Can you enlarge it?
Enlarge. Moment.
Okay.
Like this. Okay.
Okay. Figure 1, you see, you see how we start off the introduction. Figure 1 depicts the number of visitors to Max Farm, Crazy House, and D Nature 2012 to 2016. Table 1 highlights the promotional activities carried out by the farms in 2016. So we won't have to mention which farms because we have already mentioned at the during the first sentence, the introduction there, the name of the farms there. So we won't have to mention it in the second sentence. Okay, so that is the introduction. Can you see highlight the introduction? Okay, introduction. Then we'll be going into the overview. Generally, the number of visitors to the farm is influenced by the various activities carried out in 2016. Now that is the overview. Now, if you see the number 42 there, you when you are writing your essay, you won't have to write the number of words there. But I have actually written that because to keep the word count. Okay, next. Okay, in the 4 years, visitors to Mac Farms gradually decrease. Okay, if you can see the stroke there, the line there, that means I have actually drawn the line there for every 50 words. This is actually a work that I've shared with my students. My students did it and then I corrected for them. Okay, that's how you can see. That is actually at every 50 words to make it easier for me to count the number of words they have used. It has to be 200. It can be about 180, 150 to 200. But normally I would advise my students to write about 180 plus to 200, 195, but never exceed more than 200 because whatever you write after the 200th word is not acceptable, will not be counted for your marks. So do not write beyond 200 words. But don't write less about 150 words because if you are really very good, you write 200, 150 words, you can get the whole thing compact into it. It's okay. Sometimes there are some essays, they have very little information. So 150 words is okay. But if you write, it's a, it's a figure with lots of information and you only write 150 words, you might miss out some important key features. Okay. Okay. In the years, visitors to Mac Farms gradually decreased from 35K. We can see that 35K to 18K. Unlike you see comparison, it's a comparison. Unlike Prezi House, which showed a steady increment from 30K to 59K, whereas D Nature recorded the same number of visitors almost all the years, 46K. That means 46K for almost all the years except for 2013, which was slightly higher, 50K. Okay, can you show the question? Madam Lim,
Yeah, question.
question.
Wait, this one.
Okay, please highlight this part, D nature.
D nature. Okay,
The
wait,
D
need to use the word.
nature.
This one?
Can you see that? It is 46 for all the years except for 2013, which was 50.
Yeah.
50K. That is the sentence. It was the same for all the years except for 2013, which was slightly higher, by 50K. Okay, that is the sentence just now.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, now.
Okay, despite carrying out 3 activities in 2016, ponytail rides with the farm. Okay, you see, you, most of you would have noticed that uh, if you write the key features, the activities which were the ponytail ride, pony rides around the farm, pet the animals, senior citizens discount, and all those. These are actually we have more words here. We've got 2 words, we have got 5 words, 3 words. So these will actually increase the number of words of our essay. That is why you must use these inverted comma. When you use the inverted comma, it shows that it is counted as one word. But don't overuse it. Okay? Do not overuse it. Okay? So when you use the double inverted comma there, it is counted as one word. But you only use it for the key features found in the visual. But you see, max farm. Max farm, we don't use the inverted comma. Why? Because it is a noun, proper noun. It is a name.
Sorry.
It is a name, so it is one word. But this one, senior citizens discount, 3 words. But when we use the inverted comma, it becomes one word. Okay, so learn from the farming, learn all about farming. Mac Farms only recorded 18K visitors, the lowest not only for the farm or between the farms, but the years as well. Among all the years, it recorded the lowest. So you see how much of information is being used here, given here. Comparatively, Crazy House, which also had 3 activities, lucky draw, pet the animals and photography session, showed a drastic improvement in 2016. A difference of 29K from 2012. A difference. So it is like a mathematical analysis here, you are showing a more matured way of presenting your idea, but don't do it too often. Once is enough. Once is enough. Don't do it too often. Then you'll get the examiner will become a bit dizzy already trying to calculate the whole thing. Okay, a difference of 29K from 2012. So you see, in 2012, for Crazy House, it was 30K. But in 2016, it became 59K. That is why I say it's a difference of 29K from 2012. Okay. Moreover, Crazy House was the only one to hold photography session, which was probably, okay, this is another thing that you must remember. You only write what you see. You cannot make assumption. You cannot say Crazy House was able to have more visitors because of this. But because how do you know? How do you know? You have got no proof. They had the activity and there was increment of visitors, there was an improvement. But how do you know this was the reason for the increment? You do not know. This is why you give a language of probability there. Probably. You don't say because. Probably the cause for the hike. Height means what? It has gone up. So you see the different words that we use for the same meaning, various vocabulary. Okay? Although D Nature had 3 activities in 2016, two similar as Frazee House, but then there was no difference from the previous year. Two similar ones. There's no difference from the previous year, 46,000. Probably because the pick and choose activity was less appealing. Probably not because of that, but probably. So you can say in conclusion, the from 2016 promotional activities influence the number of visitors to the farm. So you see, the conclusion is almost like the overview, but it was reworded, it was rephrased, but with the same meaning. Okay? So I've actually highlighted those and I've given you the legends there, the key there. According to if it's red, it's key feature from figure 1. If it is pink, key feature from table 1. Time frame is green, blue. So you just, if you go through it later, you'll be able to understand it. Okay. So we'll move on to the next slide. Okay. The do's and don'ts. Mm. Keep within your word count and write as many analysis and synthesis. Alamak, I forgot to show them the synthesis. Synthesis, if you,
So where you want to show?
okay, let's see if you can identify the synthesis. Okay, synthesis is information of
Combining the two
line
graphics
from figure 1
and
and
the figure 2.
table 1.
Yeah, wait,
Okay, when
show
you
the
have
figure.
figure 1 and then the table 1, you combine the analysis from table 1, figure 1 with table 1, you link it and you use the link word, linker. Okay?
Okay, madam.
Okay.
So now
So
continue.
that is what you call synthesis. Okay. Okay. Now
By linkers.
report writing. Okay, report writing. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts? Okay, you keep within the word count. Please do that. Please, you have to write within 200 words. If let's say for an instant, you have written 210 words, we will put a line there and that's it, 200 words. So if your conclusion is the next 10 words, it will be it will not be taken into account. So it means you have not written your conclusion. Okay, then you lose your mark for no conclusion. So keep the word count. Okay, use the trend word, write the analysis and synthesis. And complete, you must have a good, complete, accurate introduction overview. Remember the Lahad Datu teachers, remember the last time we met, I told you to get the Oxford book and for the writing so that you can practice. That book has got very good information. If for beginners and all this, you can use that to practice. It can help you. Okay, then you must study the visuals. Take note of the for KF key feature, not KFC. Key feature. Data, trend, be focused, and plan what you want to write. You must have plan. so that you do not keep repeating. Okay, watch your language. It has to be in past tense because you're writing a report. It has to be in past tense, and you must watch your spelling. Okay, so no descriptive information. You don't have to be descriptive. This is a very formal writing. You can be descriptive in your extended writing, but not here. Do not share any opinion or assumptions. You cannot assume anything. Do not add information which is not found in the visual given. You see, you write. You don't see, you don't write. That's the rule. You see, you write. You don't see, you don't see. Then you don't see that even if you think it should be logical, it is a link, it's logical, it's understood, whatever. You don't write. You don't see, you don't write. And stop writing immediately. You must plan first. Plan and start writing. That is why you must practice. If you practice, you can plan within 5 minutes and you can spend about 30 minutes to write. Another 5 minutes to proofread and correct whatever you want to correct. Okay? And avoid using different tenses. That is why you must plan so that you're focused. Okay. Next. Okay, question 2. Brainstorm. Okay, question 2. When you want to write for question 2, you must always brainstorm the idea. Okay, brainstorm the idea, find out what you want to. First, you must decide. Do you want to agree, disagree, or is it neutral? Are you trying to be neutral? You must decide. But as I told you all earlier, try to stick to agree and disagree. Okay, you have to be balanced. It has to carry weight. Then the planning, it has to be a clear stand. You must plan. You must know what you're going to write. You will know how much you understand the question. Okay, then you plan. Clear stand, agree, disagree, neutral. Then you start writing the essay. Introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. Okay, so let's move to the next slide, madam. Okay, question 2, introduction. Pay attention to keywords in the question. Introduce the topic. Pay attention what it is about. What are you asked to write? Okay, then you introduce the topic. what uh, what, uh, what is the topic that you're going to write about? You introduce your topic and then you give briefly, you write down the background of the topic. Give a brief introduction. Okay, brief introduction. Then you state your stand. It is very important that you state your stand. If you agree or disagree, you must state your stand. You must. And write your thesis statement at the end of the paragraph 1. Your thesis statement must be specific and it justifies your opinion. Okay, can I take a look at the answer?
John?
Okay, mobile phones. This is an old idea, but I want to make it simple for you to understand. So you see, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school. Okay, school students. We are not talking about university students. We are not talking about college students. We are talking about school students. Should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school. Okay, so we are already explaining, giving an introduction. Mobile phones are communication electronic gadgets which have gained popularity around the world. It has grown from keypad phones to smartphones. Okay, so in the earlier years, so you're giving a slight introduction, what it is about. Then students these days, then you move in slowly into your topic. You give an introduction, then you link it to the students. Okay, students these days possess most high technological devices, especially mobile phones. The society has always argued on the leniency of students being permitted to use the mobile phones in school. Okay, you're moving into the topic, you're going in already. Okay, thus, the topic for today, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school, is agreeable. Then you agree. That is your stand. Okay. This is because when students are allowed to bring mobile phones to school, it would encourage them to idea one. What is the idea one? Idea one is distract and disturb the students, the lesson. That is idea one. That is your first idea. No. So I think the idea one has got went missing.
Yes. Which one?
Idea one is missing there. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, then see the ideas are given there. See, idea one, and then idea two, distract and disturb the lesson. Idea two, and finally it would cause discipline problems. That is idea three. You see, you have to give all your three ideas. Okay, you have to give all your three ideas. I think idea one somehow disappeared there. Okay, so you see that is the thesis statement. When you give your stand, you agree, then you give your thesis statement. That means you are stating why you agree students should not be allowed to bring mobile phone to school. So you are actually stating why you agree to it, and you give your reasons. So your reasons are the idea one, idea two, and idea three. Okay? Okay, let's go back to the previous slide, earlier slide. Okay, so thesis statement is at the end of paragraph 1. Thesis statement should be specific, justifies your opinion. Okay, next slide please, madam. Oh, this is not, okay, next one. Okay, question, question 2, writing body paragraphs. Okay, how do you write your paragraph? This is a very academical writing. Topic sentence, supporting details, elaborate the ideas. Example, mini conclusion. Okay, mini conclusion. Why do we say this as mini conclusion? Okay, the real conclusion is at the paragraph, fifth paragraph, the last paragraph. That is paragraph 5. Mini conclusion is the conclusion for that particular paragraph. You see, first paragraph would be introduction. In introduction, you briefly introduce your topic, you give your stand, and then you write your thesis statement. Now, when it comes to paragraph 2, paragraph 3, and paragraph 4, these are the 3 paragraphs where you will be writing about your idea 1, idea 2, and idea 3. So when you write about your ideas, you in your paragraph 2, which is with idea 1, paragraph 2, idea 1, you write your topic sentence. Then you give your supporting details for your idea, that particular idea 1. Then you give examples and mini conclusion. Sometimes when we write, being adult writers, we do not give our elaboration, then some of us do not say, for example. We will combine. Okay, The elaboration and example is combined already. Some you can even write like that. And finally, to conclude that particular paragraph, we will give the mini conclusion, concluding that particular paragraph using linkers. Now let's go to the next slide, madam. Okay, what is topic sentence? Topic sentence is what is the paragraph about, that paragraph. Paragraph 1, 2. Paragraph 2 with idea 1. What is the paragraph about? What is the main idea that is which is related to the thesis statement? Idea 1. Elaborating the ideas, you use about 2-3 sentences. Depends on how much you can write now, but not too much. Okay, elaborating the idea, support, describing the main idea, supporting ideas and examples. Okay, this is the part, the middle part. Okay, the body. You elaborate the idea, you explain a little bit, you give examples to make your idea a little bit more firm. Okay, to show that there's support. You're supporting. I say this because of this, and these are the examples. Okay, you're trying to make it look strong. Then you give the mini conclusion. You conclude the paragraph. Why? Okay, I've said all this. So why did I say this? Because of this. You conclude. You conclude that paragraph. Okay, next slide, please. I hope. Okay, you see, firstly, signal. You must give your signal to show that you are speaking about your first idea. Signal. Firstly, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school because it would encourage students to copy and cheat. That's idea 1. That was the idea which went disappearing just now. Okay, it will encourage students to copy and cheat during tests, examinations, and for any assignments given in class. Okay, so that is why they should not bring the mobile phones to school. The students can search for answers on the internet, and they can even Bluetooth or message each other for answers. Moreover is what you are trying to give a much more firm reason, making it a little bit more stronger. Moreover, the students can also download and save sample answers, mathematical and scientific formulas, as well as equations in their phones, and copy them during tests, examination, and to complete assignments. Consequently, it would make the students become less diligent and creative in the process of achieving their goals to success. Besides, you see, what kind of linkers are being used? Okay, all these linkers, consequently, moreover, besides, it will encourage them to behave dishonestly and instill wrong values among students, as they will not be accountable for the results obtained. So we are actually showing them the cause and effect. What would happen? We will allow them to bring the phone to school. They will start encourage them to copy and cheat. When they copy and cheat, what kind of values are we instilling in them? And are they accountable for whatever result that they get? Is it by their own work? So the elaboration example is given there. Then we come to the mini conclusion. So, why do I? This is the reason why I'm telling you. This is why I'm telling you. So, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school, as it would encourage them to copy and cheat. It is the same sentence, the topic sentence. It is the same sentence, but it is reworded. You get it? It's simple. It is simple. You can just, paragraph 1, you give your introduction, your stand, your thesis statement. Your thesis statement are your 3 ideas. Why is your stand such? Then paragraph 2, 3, 4, you give your body paragraph, you give your reason. Idea 1, you give your elaboration, your example, and your mini conclusion. Similarly, paragraph 2, you start off with, secondly, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school because, what is the reason? Then you give your elaboration and example. Then you go into the mini conclusion. Thus, okay? Then when it comes to paragraph 3, it is like finally, last but not least, okay? School students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school because what is the reason? What was your third idea? You write down, you give your elaboration, then you give your mini conclusion. So, thus, as a result, therefore, you can use it for your conclusion. Okay, next slide, please, madam. Question 2. Okay, question 2 still in question 2 extended writing. Conclusion. Okay, how do you write the conclusion for the whole essay? Just now it was mini conclusion for the paragraphs. Now, conclusion for the whole essay. That means conclusion for paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4. You summarize the ideas. You reaffirm your opinion. That means if you agree, you agree. You reaffirm your stand. You disagree, you reaffirm your stand. Okay, you're neutral, you reaffirm. But do not add any new ideas. You already discussed your 3 ideas. Do not add any more ideas. So we'll go to the conclusion. Next slide, madam. In a nutshell, not allowing school students to bring mobile phones to school is a move that is in the best interest of the students. The move would help to avoid the negative implications mentioned above. Okay, mentioned above. Otherwise, it would also lead the students to be involved in some other unhealthy activities which could be costly. Hence, school students, this is also conclusion, like a mini conclusion in the big conclusion there. Hence, school students should not be allowed to bring mobile phones to school as it would encourage them to copy and cheat, distract and disturb the lesson, and finally it would cause discipline problems. So that's it. The end. So now you see how simple is writing too. It is, you have to do lots of reading, you have to uh, plan. Why it's important for you to plan? When you plan, you'll be able to do it. Do your essay in a very simple way, and 15 minutes will be enough. But you have to train, you have to practice. So thank you very much for joining us here. I hope I've shared as much as you. I have shared as much as I know, and I hope it would help you to sit for the exam confidently, and wish you all the best. Good luck. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much for the informative presentation. I believe that this will bring benefits to all the candidates who are going to sit for the exam. And I think it's quite fun to be bombarded by lots of information. So in case if you want to watch again later, don't worry. You may watch again after the broadcast ended. Okay, the video will be available in the YouTube channel. Okay, Madam Maha, thank you very much. And then please give me some time to go through all the questions because we are doing our Q&A session now. Okay, so let's see what questions Madam Maha are ready to answer. So for the question 1, just now Madam Maha already answered, right, for the LFW. Low frequency words, right, Madam Maha? Can you
Yes.
hear my voice? Okay. So just now, what is the examples? Maybe you can say again. Maybe some people, they come in late, right? So what is LFW stand for? Please give some examples. Okay, so this is the question.
I
What
did
is,
give the example just now, kan?
yeah, maybe you
While I
can
was
mention
presenting.
1 or 2 examples so that the people who come in late, they can listen again. So any example for the LFW? Just maybe
words
one.
that people do not use commonly. Okay, words which are of a bit of high ranking, higher degree. These are LFWs, words of higher degree. People use uh, seldom use it.
Words that people seldom use it. Okay.
Like I said, I did not. I expected it to happen, so you can say I anticipated, and then you can say he was very wet. Instead of saying very wet, he was soaked to his skin.
Mm. Okay,
Okay,
thank you very much.
he's very hardworking. You can say diligent. These are
Hardworking,
people seldom
diligent.
use it. Yeah.
A bit like thesaurus, right?
Come again.
A bit like thesaurus. Thesaurus.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to question 2. Are candidates allowed to use correctors in their writing? For example, liquid paper.
If possible, avoid it.
Try to avoid it.
Try
Okay.
to avoid it. But you don't have to scribble on that line. You can just draw one line and continue. Using characters is not encouraged.
I see. Not encouraged. Okay. So let's look at the next question. What are some of the Malay words that candidates can use in the speaking test? Words that have no English translation.
Okay, words that have got no English translation, of course, like rukun negara. That is words um, which we seldom translate into English. So we can say in rukun negara. But then there are most of the questions which the these questions can be answered using English words. Of course, it's
Come
exceptional for
again?
words like Malay words which you do not have it in English. But then most of the time the words are found. You can use the English words unless
Yeah,
you
a
come
lot
up
of
with
English words.
names of uh, some uh, you want you come up with you see rumah terbuka, it is open house. You have it. Mm.
How about
Or
the
you
gotong royong? Gotong royong is cleanliness campaign, is it?
gotong royong. Okay, that is uh, that is fair enough because we don't have gotong royong. We do not use in
Yes, right.
We seldom have it in English. We seldom use it, but not
So
most of the time. You can use English words.
okay. So try to use English words, right, instead of Malay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the next question. Can you provide the link for the sample test before the webinar ends? So I think for this, maybe we can share some reference books that are good for them, right?
Yeah. I
Maybe you want to
you take
promote
a look.
some of the books
Uh, you
as
see,
their resource.
for the Lahat Datu friends, our friends here,
Yeah.
we have actually introduced two books to them. Right. We have
Okay.
introduced two books to them.
Do you have
So
the book now?
if they go and get the books, they'll be able to do it.
Do you have the book now? Maybe you can
Yeah.
show in front of the screen.
Yeah, why don't you show them? You have it? No, you don't have it.
Yeah, I have it, but
This book.
never.
Uh, I think
Okay.
Oxford should pay me some royalty promoting their book.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
they should.
this book, writing. This
It's a
I
writing
have
book,
been
yeah.
using this with my students for quite some time, and it is
Yeah.
actually very helpful.
Mm,
Okay, and
yeah.
for reading and listening, You can even use this also. I do use
The
that.
red one.
But of course, there are some people who argue some arguments which is such as that these
What
books
is the
are of
argument?
higher level.
Oh,
The vocabulary is of higher
bombastic.
degree. It's a bit difficult for students to follow. Of course, these are the kinds of arguments which I have heard over the time. But how long are you going to sit back trying to only do what is comfortable for you? We have to come out of our comfort zone, and have the courage to to achieve our success. We must have the courage to come out of our comfort zone. You see, if you do not take the risk, you can never create your future.
Yeah, true that. We must try to improve from time to time. Okay, I hope this answered the questions. So let's go to question 5. Will there be a penalty if the number of words in writing is less than the 350 words? I think this one is for the question 2, right? For the writing.
Yeah.
Mm.
You see, when you have got lesser word, there'll be lesser information. When there is lesser information, it would not be uh, um, you will not be able to give a clear picture of what you want to share. If you agree, if you have 350 words, you will be able to give a clear, accurate picture. But if you write lesser than 350 words, how much of picture can you give? How much of clear meaning? How accurate can you be?
Yeah.
Isn't it? The essay that I
Informative.
told you just now, the second question, that one is about 700 plus words.
700 words.
Ah.
So there will be no penalty if we write more than 350.
No penalty if you write more than 350. But
even
mind
700.
you, if you are a good writer and your language is good, you'll be making lesser mistakes. But if you are not a good writer, it would be safe to say that you should stick to about 400 words. Do not have
Yeah.
to go beyond. You give an introduction of about 3 to 4 sentences, and then your stand, and then your agreement, your thesis statement, then your paragraph 2, paragraph 3, 4, 5. But in order to gain C2 and C1, don't you think you have to write more?
I think so too.
Mm.
Must be informative
Mm.
and coherence. Okay, so I've seen a new question here, just posted by Aslan Aliamat. He asks, doesn't stating probably because imply assumption which is not advisable for this section? This section I think is referred to the report writing, question
Yeah,
1.
report writing.
So Madam Maha, what is your opinion?
Because you see, when you write because, then it is you're making assumption. You're really saying that is the reason. But if you say probably because, it would not be making assumption. You are just guessing, maybe not, but that is not the reason. You're not making assumption.
Oh, so that is acceptable for
Yeah,
probably because,
from
right?
what I remember,
How,
yes,
how
I
about if
guess.
I write because? Can I use because? Because it's stated there, right? A various reason is in the table. Can I use because instead of probably because? What if the candidates use because of blah blah various reason?
Because of means that you're specifically, strongly stating that is the reason.
Okay.
But probably because means it could be, it could not be.
So it's more advisable to use probably because. Okay. So I think I have covered all the questions from the audience. Okay, audience, if you have any question, you can still post it here. If I see it, I will share it later. So now, I think everyone is waiting for this moment. for the keying of SPL KPM and the e-certificate. So allow me to share the QR codes now. Wait a moment, please. I need to share my screen. Can you see my slide, Madam Maha?
Yeah.
Okay, so candidates, candidates. Sorry, audience. So please, maybe you can take a screenshot or take a picture in case you're afraid that you'll miss out this one. You can scan with QR code or just key in the link. I will share the link in the live chat also. Okay, wait a moment. I'm sharing the link now. Okay, it's in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Junaina. Thank you, Madam Junaina. Okay, so this is the link. So I will just share the PowerPoint now. Okay, I will leave it here for 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay, please try to fill in as soon as possible. Okay, because there is limited seat for the SPL KPM. Sorry, this one is a bit small. 诶，我改不到了。Loading. Okay, wait. Okay, so I believe everyone has enough time to take the screenshot or take the picture. If you, in case you miss out the PowerPoint, actually you can watch the broadcast again. So from the comments, I see that there is no more questions posted. Okay, we have answered all the questions. I see many positive comments from the audience. Thank you very much. Right, Madam Maha, have you seen the positive comments? They are saying that you are sharing great sharing from you. Thank you, Viveka. Yeah, good luck, everyone. So thank you for staying with us for 3 hours. So it's almost 12 o'clock now. So I'm glad that we can end the webinar on time. Madam Maha, do you have any words for the candidates before we end our broadcast today and end our first webinar today for PPT Lahat Datu? Yes, Madam Maha?
Good luck to every one of you. May God bless you all. I wish you all the best. Just practice and you will be successful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.